YouTube, it's me, Bergie, and I'm here with the last installment in my 2017 recap kind of video. And today I'm going to be discussing all the rereads I had in 2017. So let's just get right into them. So first off, I reread the Chronicles of Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. And to be honest, at this point when I'm filming, I kind of really want to reread them again. I love this series so much. I think I first read them when I was in middle school, I feel like. So around 12, 13, 14. So kind of a little bit older than most people I feel like have read this series. But I just feel like this is such a great series because it has a lot of depth in its metaphors of Christianity or religion in general. And it has different commentaries on family and other moral characteristics and issues, and I just think it's really well done. Specifically for each book, I gave The Magician's Nephew an A+, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe an A+, The Horse and His Boy an A, Prince Caspian an A+, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader an A+, The Silver Chair A+, and The Last Battle A+. I particularly love, obviously, the books that have the Pevensies in them, or Prince Caspian, but I just, overall, I think this is a very well done series, and I just love it, and could honestly reread them once every year, maybe even more frequently than once a year. I will say my favorite character in this series is Edmund, but that might be skewed by the fact that I think that the actor that played Edmund in the movies was attractive. But also I can't help but go for a character that was on the wrong side, but then grows to be onto the good side. That's not a very good explanation, but yeah. Let's go on to the next series. So next I read the Little House series by Laura Ingalls Wilder. Now, even though I'm saying this is a reread, I'm not sure if I actually read all of the books in this series before this year, or 2017, but I grew up watching the TV show adaptation of this, so because my mom loved the series and everything Little House on the Prairie, so I kind of was familiar with everything that happened. But I will say that I really enjoyed this series. The specific stats for each book, I gave Little House in the Big Woods an A, Little House on the Prairie an A, Farmer Boy an A, which that follows Laura's Pa's kind of, was this Pa or was that Almanzo's childhood? I think it might have been Almanzo's childhood. Then we have On the Banks of Plum Creek, which I gave an A, By the Shores of Silver Lake, which I gave an A, The Long Winter, A+, Little Town on the Prairie, A+, These Happy Golden Years, A+, and The First 4 Years, B+. For the majority of the series, I really enjoyed seeing how Laura lived during the late 1800s when everyone was moving out west. I will say for the last book, which was the only one I gave it a non-A rating, I disliked it because this was not finished by Laura Ingalls Wilder. She was writing it, or taking notes, I guess, on it, but then she died, so then I guess her daughter or someone compiled it together and put it into a book, and it kind of contradicts a lot of stuff that she had written in the previous book, which was These Happy Golden Years. So for that reason, and because it is kind of unedited and not what I guess Laura had intended it to be, I did not enjoy it as much. So if you are planning on reading the series, you can pretty much skip the first 4 years. It's better ending at These Happy Golden Years. But I guess with the first 4 years, it kind of shows more into the negative kind of hardships that people had to face during that time period, but still, I prefer the other books way more than that last one. But yeah, I definitely think that this is a series that people should read because it does give a lot of historical context for that time period and is very easy to get through, and it's very easy to read, and I just think it's a part of time that we don't really learn too much about, and I feel like this provides a more realistic view of it. Yes, it does gloss over some hardships, but it does at least mention them and shows how her family kind of got through those hardships. And I know the series has been kind of controversial because of how it mentions some racist remarks, I guess, on Native Americans, but you have to remember that this was written about a certain time period when that was kind of how things were. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it's being more realistic. And for us to just be like, no, don't read this series because it mentions Native Americans in a negative view is wrong, because we can't just erase our bad things from our past. We have to acknowledge them and learn from them. And I feel like by reading this series, we're doing it a bit of justice to try to right our wrongs. Next series I read, or reread, was the Robert Langdon series by Dan Brown, because I wanted to prepare for the 5th book coming out, which I had told you was my favorite. So as you would expect, I gave all of the books in this a very high rating. I gave Angels and Demons an A, The Da Vinci Code an A. Oh, I gave them all an A. So there's Angels and Demons, The Da Vinci Code, The Lost Symbol, and Inferno. I just love this series. Yes, it's kind of based on conspiracy theories and is just kind of not cheesy, but like unrealistic with all of the different clues that are being brought up. But I just think it's so well written and well done that I can overlook that, and I just love the series so much. It was, I think, my first foray into the adult book realm, and for that I'm always going to be thankful for, but I just think it's such a great book, and if you haven't read it before, I totally think you should, because it is amazing. Next we have Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. I read The Sorcerer's Stone and The Chamber of Secrets in the illustrated edition. I gave both of them an A+, as is kind of expected. I really think that reading these books in the illustrated format is so magical. It just brings the story a little bit more to life, and it's just a great new way to enjoy them. Yes, it is a bit money grabbing, and I have thoughts about that in J.K. Rowling, but that aside, it's definitely a great way to read these books, and I feel like kids would really love reading these books or being read these books by their parents. It just adds so much more, I feel like, to the story. And really, there's not much more to say about that. Now, finally, I reread the first 4 books in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Riordan. They are The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, and The Battle of the Labyrinth, and I gave them all an A+. I think sometime during 2019, I want to give more spoilery reviews on each of Rick Riordan's myth-related books, so I'm not going to go into them right now, but obviously, as you guys heard, I gave them all an A+, so I love these books so much, and I love Rick Riordan's writing. It's just, if you have a child or know a younger person who's not a fan of reading, I would definitely recommend introducing them to these books, because they're just easy to read and quick to get through because they are so fast-paced and enjoyable. And I feel like, at least, well, I'll say that my brother, he's not much of a reader. Not as much as like me and my mom, but he loves this series so much, and he, I think, has read them probably 100 times, to be honest, because he would literally go through the series right after finishing it, like go through it again. So he was like constantly reading them, and like I said, he's not much of a reader, so I feel like the fact that this series has gotten him to read says a lot about how good this series is, and I honestly can't say enough good things about it. I love Rick Riordan's writing. I love how he creates realistic characters, realistic relationships between characters, and the plots, while drawing very heavily on the Greek mythology that he's basing a lot of this on, he makes it enough of his own, so it's not like straight taking it from the Greek myths. And I just love that. I also just love Greek mythology. I did study classics, so it's no surprise there, but honestly, this series is amazing. So great. I feel like not enough people give it the praise it deserves. That might be because the movies completely sucked, but again, that's not for this video. But yeah, those are all the books that I reread. Have you guys read any of these books? Have you reread any of these books? And what were your thoughts on first reading or on a reread? Did they hold up for you like they did for me, or not? And if so, I would love to hear your reasons why, and I would love to just discuss these books in the comments below, because a lot of these, because they were rereads, they were books I already knew I loved. So yeah, it would be nice to talk to you guys about my favorite books. So yeah, but anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video, which will probably be this kind of series, but for my 2018 reads. And I might be taking a little bit of a break. We'll see. But anyhow, once 2019 starts, I'm hoping that I'll be able to post consistently twice a week on Thursdays and Sundays. Not sure what time yet. Probably just any time during those 2 days, because already I feel like I might not be able to be consistent. But let's cross our fingers and hope that I can show some consistency with my uploading, because that's something I would love to do. But yeah, I'm rambling now, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.